I'm excited. It's 8 p.m. on the dot, and yeah, we made it on time today. We made it on time today. It's very exciting to be here, to be with you. It's a date. I hope a lot of you have got it marked into your diaries that 8 p.m. on the dot, I come on live to give my teachings, to share my experiences, yeah, to share things that I know about African spirituality. So, yeah, we're just gonna wait to see where who is here. Um, you know, send your greetings so I know who's here. We're just gonna give people a few minutes to join in because we're just 50 seconds in. Yes, Jablile from Olifants Fontaine. You're not far away from me. I'm in Midrand, so you're a neighbor. Good evening, Linda. Welcome, Malhafa. Yeah, Tuli is here from Dawoong. Willem from Cape Town. We've got somebody else from Midrand. We've got somebody from Khayelitsha. People from Polokwane, Tamaku Asanda, Togoza from Bloemfontein. We've got some people are quite familiar. Fichi from Manchester. We've got Honor from Potchefstroom. Victoria is from Bloemfontein. So we're just making sure that people are coming in. I just love the fact that we are, we are from different parts of the world. We are Africans from, yeah, like all these different parts of the world. Isn't that incredible? It's very incredible that we can have everyone here, we can have many of us here. I am still trying to work my way out. Oh, David is from the Dominican Republic. Which continent is the Dominican Republic? I don't think that's Africa. So please let me know where's the continent. Ah, Isabel from Zanini. Guys, Zanini sisirnarchwa kapani boramalebe. We've got Cash from, we've got somebody from Klerksdorp, Togozani. Great, a lot of us are here in 2 minutes. I'm very proud of you. I hope that you have your notifications on. You have subscribed to the channel. Remember to like the video as well. And remember to share it because you might be listening and this might not be for you, but it might be for a loved one. Because these teachings are not just for the ones who have to go through processes of initiation. So I wanted to say today might be my last video for now on Ukhuthwasa because I also want to broaden the teachings because I'm an African spiritual teacher. So kindly do let me know what else you want me to speak about because this is a space where we learn, this is a space where we get enlightened, this is a space where we get inspired, and this is a space where we get awakened. This is a space where we create new understandings for ourselves around issues of African spirituality, African identity, African healing, because we all understand that there isn't a lot of information that's out there, but also with the information that is starting to go out there, I'm encouraging you to be very discerning in what you take and make it an application on your life because issues of spirituality, as I always repeat, they're quite personal. So even with what I'm going to share with you, some of it might not be applicable. So you take what you feel like it resonates with you, what you feel makes sense with you, and you are free to ask me questions. So now that we figure out that with YouTube now, I can actually scroll up and down with questions. So today's topic is I wanted to speak about the preparation of Ukhuthwasa. What is it when you are about to embark on your journey of Ukhuthwasa? Of course, people always assume Ukhuthwasa is people who are spiritually called. But life is about Ukhuthwasa because life is full of challenges. The journey of life is not paved with gold. It has potholes, it's got stop signs, it's got detours. But understand that everything that is set your way, it's intended to grow you. It is intended to move you from one position of your life to the next position of your life. So sometimes things would feel like they're falling apart, but actually things are being cleared for you. The storms that are coming your way might be to clear your path, might be to shred off old things that no longer serve you. And sometimes what spirit does for us is that when we are not willing to shift it will create storms. Storms will happen, or we would be forced, because things have to die. We understand that when we look in nature as the greatest teacher, every season comes on time. So, of course, with issues of climate changes, that we have not gotten rains, for example, and we are being told that there's storms that are coming, but we do know that it's going to come. We do know that rain will come. So we know that when winter comes, the leaves die because they make a way for the new ones, but the roots remain intact, because when the roots are strong, those dead leaves, they fall on the ground, they become nutrients for the roots, and then the roots even gives birth to even much more stronger, greener leaves for the fruits that it's supposed to bear. So do understand that certain things that fall out of your life, or that move away from you, relationships that die, situations that seem to be ending, or jobs that are ending, is that thing can actually be an aid, can add nutrition, can be a gift to your roots. It's painful for us as human beings, because remember, we have the cognitive, we have the heart, so we get emotions, which are energy in motion. So we do get attached to certain things, but sometimes the old is supposed to die, because it is no longer serving who we are becoming. And spirit understands who we are becoming. It understands who we were, who we are, and who we are becoming. So certain things dying is that what it when things go, or when things end, or when things die, is because who we are becoming, that very same thing that we think we need to hold on to, is going to be a hindrance or a blockage. So some of us are not receiving our blessings. We're not receiving the things that we're supposed to receiving, because we're holding on to the dead. When you're holding on to dead leaves, how do you expect new leaves to be born? How do you expect to bear fruit on an old leaf? So I'm not fluey. I don't have sinuses. Ngibhema sniff. And who knows, maybe one day I'll be a brand ambassador here into, because we use it a lot as Africans, not only as spiritual healers, but we use it to, as an offering to our ancestors. When we're connecting with them, we pour it on the ground. So yeah, so please do keep your questions coming. So Ukhuthwasa, the things that you need to prepare, and I've shared some of these things. They're not new, but I'm also understanding that I'm trying to create a very clear playlist for people. So I'll be repeating myself, so that it's easy for you to track and find, because some of the things I share in between topics, because these things are interconnected. So sometimes you're trying to speak about one topic, but it brings on another topic, because we do understand that spirituality is about interconnectedness. As much as we like to box things as human beings, because for our cognitive brain, it's easy to create structures like that, but spirit operates in its own frequency. So sharing from my own experiences as one who has been through two processes of Ukhuthwasa, sharing my experiences as a gobela, meaning a trainer of those who are supposed to go through processes of Ukhuthwasa, sharing my experiences as an African child, but also sharing my experiences as a sangoma, and what I have learned from those things, and it's what I would love to bring for you, and give you the teachings and insights on the topic of how do you prepare yourself for Ukhuthwasa. Some questions did come on Instagram. Somebody said, I've been told that I have a gift. So let's start there. You find out that you have a gift. So when you find out that you have a gift, you cannot just move from finding out you have a gift, pack your bags, and off you go. Ukhuthwasa is to go on a process, or on a journey of understanding what type of spiritual gift have your ancestors gifted you, because ubungoma is quite diverse. There's different types of ubungoma. There's Nguni and Dao, which is something that has become popular. Nguni and Dao are the people who say Togoza Koko. There is the Tonga Limhlope, which is Xhosa, Abokamaku Gelabo. There is a Msutu training, which is Bolesedi Khanya. There's Bapedi, Malopo, Kibotobela. There is Zulu, which is Abantu Abathi Amakhosi Amakhulu. There is, so just to mention a few, I'm sure there is many. There is this Pilongo, which is, a Shangan way of initiating. And my understanding as Kokodino is that I'm not familiar with indigenous trainings of Botswana. So my understanding as Kokodino is that each family had a healer. So, each family had somebody who was called to be an intermediary between the living and the ancestors, somebody who was gifted to connect to the spirit world. So when you are gifted with a gift of healing that comes from your tribal lineage, like umzulu and matifano twase amakosi, like umsutu tonto twase sisutu, or mupedi, or umxhosa besenzi tonge limhlophe, it means that exists in your own lineage. Whereas in Dao, the Dao ancestral training, you don't necessarily have to have a Dao ancestral lineage in you. Some of us toss it because it's rebirthing us and reconnecting us to our ancestral lineage of Mandao. But some of us, we toss it because we are creating an appeasement and a peacemaking offering, because our own ancestors went and took, stole, created harm, or there was an injustice that was done to the Ndau people, right? Or to people who were outside of our own tribal grouping. So when we go Twasa Isindao, sometimes we Twasa it because we are making peace in the spirit world so that there could be peace restored in our own families. But I'm also understanding that Isindao is for me is very it's very important at this time, because it's about the injustice that colonization did by segregating and separating us as a people, as Africans. So when we do Isindawo, we actually do reconnect to our lineage before we became Southern Africans. Before we became Umzulu, before we became Umsutu, we were the Bantu people, or we were the people of of the north, or the people of the east, or the people of the central, because we are all migrants as Southern Africans. We migrated either from East Central or from North Africa, even North or South, and came down to Southern Africa, because history tells us that the original people of Southern Africa is the Khoisans. So it's very important that when you find out that you have a calling, is to embark on a journey of understanding what type before you can actually proceed to go and initiate. So maybe let's pause on the questions, because I'm going to miss them. Let me do the teachings and then I'll open for questions, and you can ask me questions. And there's also Istunywa, where a lot of, and Istunywa, it's a term that has kind of came in, I think, in the 20th century, because Istunywa means messenger. So as a healer, you are a messenger of light, but when we were legislated against practicing as healers, against consulting our own indigenous healers, we had to find a way to still continue in practice. We had to find a way to still continue honoring our gifts without actually getting on the wrong side of the law. So a lot of us found ways in the church to heal, and that's where Ubu Profita or Ba Sebeletsi came into being. But if you look at it in essence, even as a sangoma, ke mosebeletsi wa Modimo le badimo. So meaning that I am a messenger, I am a worker, I am a vessel of God and my ancestors. So just because that you are seeing prophetic things, you are seeing yourself wearing capes, meaning izipiga or ripiga or saparo, izambato zesonto, does not necessarily mean that it's not ancestral, because somebody in the family once used those things, or once was a healer and used that way of healing. So that healing gift is then passed on to you, because everything else is a gift that exists in our ancestral lineage. And I understand that a lot of us, because of our religious background, we also sometimes do struggle to place indigenous ways of healing, or ubungoma, because we've been Christians for so long, or we've been of a different faith domination, then we don't know these things. Just because you are now aware doesn't mean it never existed. It could have been erased for a variety of reasons. One is that it was something to be hidden because of the law. But secondly, it could also be that when one of us took upon that gift, they did not use it as a gift of enablement, but they disabled a lot of people in the family. So they went on to the dark side of the practice. So they started practicing witchcraft act. So they started to do things against people's wills. So the family then decided, or somebody in the family decided, we're going to redirect and reshift this. So there is The reason why people don't do these things is not only because colonization demonized us, it's not because Christianity took away our identity. It's also that some of us, when we went into the space of being gifted people and we understood we had access to the spirit world where other people in our families did not have access, we misused the power in which we've been entrusted with. So it's very important to understand that that for yourself as well. So versus engaging your family and trying to impose your way as well, and forcing the family to engage with something that they feel uncomfortable, rather inquire and be curious about how come we don't know this anything about this, what really happened. Because some of us, we might be evoking what we think it's a gift, but we might be evoking those who operated on the dark side of the gift, and we don't want that, because being a healer is to make well, is not to destroy or distract. Being a healer is working with somebody's willingness, somebody's readiness, and somebody's somebody saying, yes, I want to work with you. So being a healer is not doing something for your own individual benefit, but it's for the benefit of that the one that is seeking the healing services from you. I hope you're following me, and I hope you're feeling me. Remember to like the video, remember to subscribe to the channel, and also remember to share it later. Share it everywhere, and remember to also follow me. If you're not following me on Instagram, I'm Coco Dineo. I always post either my own messages or other people's messages that are motivational. I also post that's why I write a lot as well on the social media, on Facebook as well, and on Twitter. But also be very careful, because there's a lot of fake accounts on the name of Coco Dineo. Those who know me would know that my tone and my language is always about enrolling people at their willingness. Is not promising, because I am not God. I cannot promise you anything. I only am a channel and a vessel. So I can't promise to bring your lost lover. I can't promise to make you win the lottery. I don't cast spells. I don't do any of those things. So just remember to, when we're done here, if you have not yet, please do so. And remember, every Monday I upload a Mgoma video, because the songs are ministry to us. Music is very powerful. It helps us heal. It gives us words to things that we're experiencing but we are unable to articulate. So every Monday, just check out that there will be a new video uploaded right now, a video that's on. If you have not seen it, Siyakhuleke Makosini, which is one of Mkhulu Mkasha's favorite song. Mkhulu Mkasha is a partner at the institute that I work with, and so and then there's also Abum Kuluspusi. So there's a lot just to keep you going, especially if you're not in the country, or you're far away, or you have trained, or you're about to embark on training. These songs can actually bring your experiences alive, but they can also evoke spirit, because umgomo vuswa ingoma. So in continuation of what we are talking about, we're talking about preparation, about Ukhuthwasa. So I said, first one, it's very important for you to understand the type of ubungoma gift that you are gifted. So that means when you find out about it, you say, then what is it that I need to do to connect to the gift, right? Because it's important to connect to the gift first before you can actually train on the gift. You cannot train on something that you don't understand, that you have no lived experience of. And what do I mean by lived experience? Doesn't mean that there's a healer in the family. Lived experience is that the things that have to do with the Bungoma you have not experienced. So you haven't seen anything that relates to Bungoma. Your dreams are not indication of that you have a gift of being Umgoma. There is a live that I did a couple of weeks ago that spoke to what are some of the dreams that can tell that you are gifted. So if you are, if you wanna know, look at that live stream. It will tell you the types of dreams that a gifted person will have. So you're connecting to that, because by connecting to the gift, you are opening spirit messages. You are opening your uvula idlo zumlomo. So you are saying to the one that whom has gifted you, connect, communicate with me, lead and direct me, because this journey, what is very important in your preparation is always to be ancestrally led. So to be led by the one who is gifting you, or the ones who are gifting you the gift, versus by just Coco Dineo, who is your healer, versus just by somebody who says this is how it should be. A prescription and a directive comes from your ancestors. The one that you work with as a healer is one who is going to be working with the directive of your ancestors, or guide you on how to open that directive from your ancestors. So that's very important. So, and it's to then start, performing rituals that will continue to deepen your connection. So, one of the most basic important rituals, I did say that I'm not fluid, is la samba kona. So yes, I will give out my contact details, Dino, at the end of the stream of how you can book for an online. For a consultation. I do both visual, online, telephone, and face to face consultations. So I ask that we pause on the questions. You can make comments so that I can concentrate on the things you need to do to prepare. Understand? So the type of gift, it's very important. You cannot go train not knowing what is the type of umgoma that you are supposed, what is the umgoma or ubungoma gift that you are gifted with, because you're gonna end up making mistakes and errors. So that's one. When you find out that you are gifted, is to start also engaging on some rituals. And I was explaining one of the basic rituals is ukuphahla. So what is ukuphahla? Ukuphahla is to call upon our ancestors. Who are the ancestors? Ancestors are people that existed in our lineage, who had a physical and a human experience. Then they departed and they died in the physical, but then their spirit went on and became one with Creator. So when we are calling upon them, we are calling upon them to pave and make a way for us. So when we connect to divine source, to Mvelingangi, Unomkhublani, to Mudimu Ramasedi, to God, they have actually opened up the doors. So by connecting to them, because remember, the holder of the gifts is God, because God chooses, her children to be healers. Through an ancestral lineage or through an ancestral lineage or a family. So is to perform those rituals. One of it is ukuphatha, but also look at what are the other things that are blocking your connections. So there might be things that have happened in your life and you need cleansing. So you might have had a miscarriage, you might have had a misfortune, or it might be that you need to be rejuvenated, because we live in a world that is full of toxins, environmental toxins, spiritual toxins. There might be a clearing or a cleansing that needs to occur so that you are energetically able to connect with your ancestors. Another important thing that you do when you find out that you are gifted, and for you to be able to decipher for yourself and to be clearer if the gift that you have been gifted with, is it a gift that you have to go and become isangoma, you have to go ephehlweni. What you need to do, for me, that is very important, is a process called amakobongo, right? Some people call it tutu, some people call it ipudlu, ngesixhosa kuthiwa islawu. And because depending, that's why you need to find out the type of gift you have. Depending on the type of gift, then that gobongo, it's amakhambi, yimithi, it's African medicine, it's traditional medicine that is a concussion, or it's a mixture of medicine that is going to open up your energy portal to your ancestors. It is going to actually deepen your connection to your ancestors. It is going to align you with your ancestors, but it's going to enlighten you, whether you are gifted to Ukhuthwasa or your gift was to be reminded and remember who you are as an African, because whether uzoba isangoma or not, connecting to your ancestors should be a non-negotiable. It's not a matter of that you are gifted, therefore you the only one who has to connect. Everybody has to have a relationship with their ancestors, because the people who are deeply rooted have a potential and an ability to thrive. So do understand that. Then that's important, because a lot of people will say, yeah, but I've been told I dream, but I have not been shown where or who is going to help me. Ngesinguni nesindawo, and that's what I can speak of, because that's what my training is. Ngithwase singuni nesindawo, and then ngalungisa inzunza, and one day I will speak about the nzunza spirit in Mozambique. And for me, every process I have done, I had to be shown. So when I came back ephehlweni, ngiqeda ukuthwasa isinguni isindawo nesprofeto, I was shown imvumakufa. That's when I understood that actually my paternal grandmother's mother is Xhosa. So when I did imvumakufa, ngabhinca umcakaku omhlophe. the white ochre. But now I'm actually understanding that that was not enough. There are certain Xhosa things I need to go and do some other time to also accept the gift of my great grandmother, because my great grandmother from my paternal side of the family, who's Xhosa, was a healer as well. So I need to go through Xhosa initiation process for that. So, and that's why for me dreams are very important, because had I just went ngayothwasa, I would have went and started off doing izinto as wrong, because from where I'm standing in terms of my understanding of a cultural structure and identity is that my dad is ukhuliswe abantu bakaPengu. So Pengu, they are Zulu, but when I went through initiation, I understood that actually we are from Swaziland, so Singama but my dad's father is Pedi, but when we also learned that Pedi was the maternal side of my dad, if I went ngayothwasa Pedi, I would have done things the wrong way. But my dreams were very indicative ukuthi ngumuntu that has to go initiate isingune sendawo, and I got a dream that also indicated where I was supposed to initiate. And this was in 2010. And you see, the thing is that you have to twasa and nobody can tell you, but you don't go there being desperate. You go there because nothing is working out, but don't go out of desperation, because desperation leads to exploitation. Because I was supposed to go initiate, I think around May, when I felt I had to go. So I went to a healer who I know, but when I came back, something didn't feel okay with me going there. I didn't know why, but it just couldn't sit well with me. And I pashat and I went and consulted, and I was told that I need to wait for a dream. And it was very frustrating because my life was literally falling apart. I felt like I was losing my sanity. I was sick every week. I was off work every week, and I was just not a pleasant human being to be around. My children were miserable, my husband at the time was also miserable, but I'm very grateful that I persisted in the pain and I persevered through it until I was shown a vivid dream of where to go, because where I went was where my ancestors wanted me to go. It is what I needed for my training, because my training was very militant. My trainer was very harsh. But that is what Dineo needed more than my ancestors needed, because I was quite a snob. I was very fragile and very sensitive. I was like, oh my God, do I really have to slaughter a chicken? I really cannot slaughter a chicken. And I understood that they took me to a very masculine, militant commander like trainer to build my internal strength and capacity, tenacity, courage, bravery, so that when I go outside of Ipehlo, whatever that comes my way, what I have been through has prepared me for the new me in the world. Because to twasa is a rebirth process, so I had to go through a rebirth. So as a new me emerged, I had a tool of qualities that I learned through the harshness of Ipehlo to navigate my new world, and that I'm very grateful for. So I did, I of course I consulted, I performed a couple of rituals, I also did a makobongo, but I still didn't dream. I wasn't shown where to go. One thing that was my daily practice was meditation. So in a meditation, I was shown a vision of water, yellow and white. And I asked somebody else who was a healer, said to me, why don't you go emanzini and uyophahla, uyocela indlela? And that day, that weekend, my dad accompanied me and I went to the river with a yellow and white candle, and I understood that actually yellow is to bring things to light, because the sun is yellow. Izinto zizokhanya njengelanga elibalele. So when I went and pashat that very same night, the dream was very vivid of who my trainer was, but I didn't know her. I knew of the man that I was with. And yeah, and when I went to my trainer, every single dream I've had started to play itself out in the conversation I had with her. And of course, when I went there, so that's how I knew. But I am so grateful to my ancestors, because they know how to speak for themselves. Before I left, I went into a trance, and they said, because they know I'm stubborn, I'm very stubborn. Like, I'm not easily convinced on things. So they said, because they know I'm stubborn, for me to be sure that this is the place I need to initiate, they gave me signs, further signs, that will validate that house is the house that I was shown. And indeed, when I got there, everything was placed as it was. And I remember, actually, I've been dreaming of my Gobela for the longest of time. It's just that I didn't see her face, but her stature and even the duke she was wearing and the speaker that she was wearing, even when she spoke about the Bible, because 2 weeks before the dream, I was told that I needed to get a Bible, and I didn't understand because I moved away from Christianity, So when I got there, and she told me what she does, and how it works, it all made sense, and I almost went into a trance. And she said to me, "Hey, isku pussy ready. If I start playing the drums, you're not gonna leave." And I said to her, "Hey, please, can I get time?" Because I was emceeing my younger sister's 21st, and I said, "I will see you in October." And it didn't take me October. After the 21st, because I spoke it in Dumbeni, after the 21st, I had to go. So I left abruptly, but I'm grateful that I went where my ancestors actually show me, right? I asked that, please don't ask me questions yet. I will open up for question in the next couple of minutes. So I've given you a few steps of what you need to do to prepare for Ukhuthwasa. The other thing is that you need to understand that going through a process of Ukhuthwasa is being reborn, and it's being reminded of the essence of who you are. So certain things of what you think you are will be challenged ephelweni. So you need to be able to understand that you are going ephelweni to heal, but in order to heal, you need to go to the depth of your wounds. So understand that psychologically you're going to be challenged, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So when I say prepare yourself, is just know that there are things that are going to take you out of your comfort zone for you to Ukhuthwasa. You have to have some level of anxiety, not fear. Anxiety, if you didn't have anxiety, what you are doing means it's not important. Anxiety is that feeling uvalo, and I don't even think uvalo is anxiety, right? But the closest word to English is anxiety. But it's not about discomfort. It's about, this thing feels big, this thing feels overwhelming, because it is big and it is overwhelming. So the other thing that you need to know before you go a patron is to understand that this process is financially expensive. And people always want to say, but why is it expensive? I mean, everything you're gonna need there, you're gonna have to purchase. From the beads you're gonna use, from the cloths you're gonna use, from the fees. Like when you go into varsity, you have to pay tuition fee, and there are other extra costs that will be incurred. But one thing you need to understand is that if you are taken to the right place, you go at the right time. Lozi makes provision. You don't go there with all your finances in check, because trust you me, if you have the money, you'll be doing other things with your life versus giving the rest of your life to immerse yourself in a process that seems impossible and that challenges who you think you are. Because you walk in there, I walked in as a 29-year-old married woman, career driven, well articulated. I had a lot going on in my life, but when I go there, I become umntwana wehlozi. I become a child, and I have to let go of my understandings of things, my perceptions and my views of things, so that I can open room to learn. Because if your cup is full already, there's no room to learn. So I had some of my cups were emptied. Some of my things were emptied. So my Gobela didn't like wise, because I'm a wise woman. But the gift in her not telling me everything, it meant that I needed to trust the wisdom of my ancestors, and I needed to listen deeply to their guidance and their direction. Also, the other thing you need to know is that when you go ephelweni, because of very little sleep that happens, you won't always remember your dreams. You will really dream sometimes, because they are opening other portals of connecting with you. Because dreaming is one way, but your intuition will be heightened, your vision will be heightened, hearing will be heightened. So understand that some of the things that you used to experience might not happen. It doesn't mean that you are at the wrong place. You need to be able to decipher before you even go, because your ancestors can't show you there. There were times I felt I was at the wrong place because of how I was treated. But what kept me there is that, well, I was shown here. It means there's nowhere to go. But it was very hard. I used to fall asleep behind the wheel while I was driving. to a point where I would be woken up by my late sister to say, hey, you're about to get into an accident. I remember I passed out on the off-ramp of Rivonia, and those who know the N1 and Rivonia off-ramp, it's very busy. And I thought, my God, well, I was going to be lenient and tell me to, said you sleep early, but when we're busy, we're busy. Then I had to park the car and I had to take taxis. And the gift of taking taxis is that I had extra sleep on my way to work and from work. But it also made me, it humbled me. I learned to be even much more street wiser because I toss at the Soweto. So I learned the streets of Josie. There's so much and when I was awake, I could read as well. So that's the thing. That's the thing, because also this 2 months after I lost my job. So just also understand that it doesn't mean when you go epichlweni everything is going to be magically happen. People are going to be employed. Things might get worse before they get better, and those tests and the trials that you're experiencing is to test the genuineness of you going into your process. Are you going into it uyozuza material, or are you going into it to be well within yourself? The biggest thing that I felt was I was at peace with myself. Like, I've never felt so much peace. Even when, for the first time in my life, I have never been a financially dependent teenager. From when I was in Standard 5 is what? Grade 7. When I was in grade 7, I started to be an entrepreneur. I sold things. So, epically, I lost my job. So, it meant I had no financial income and I couldn't sell sweets, of course. But what it taught me, it taught me to ask. It taught me to swallow my pride and be okay being given things. So it taught me a lot of things, because I lost everything. So I had to ask my parents for money. I had to ask, and my husband at the time was not working as well. So it meant that I became dependent. My children had to downgrade from a private nursery school by Uhlale Alexandra. My son would always want strawberries, but there were no strawberries. They had to go batata makip mebaya. It teaches you humility and humbleness. I am so grateful for everything, because even post Petro, when I came back, I was at peace. I wasn't poor, but I wasn't who I was before I went. So I lost a lot of stuff. Because also a lot of stuff that we attach to as people are false identities, because we have made, who are you? I am a woman, I'm a lawyer, I'm a accountant. You're not those things, child of your ancestors. You are not your career. You are not your marriage. You are not your, I lost my, I separated with my husband in 2018. So because all those things are just roles. But who am I outside my roles? And be prepared that some of the roles you have epichleni are going to be taken away from you, because spirit is inviting you to enter into your trueness, into your true identity. So that is something else that you need to prepare yourself for. Prepare to lose loved ones. Prepare that friends will not show up for you. Prepare that your partner might leave you. Mine didn't leave me at the time. He was very supportive, and like I said, we still work together. So my ex-husband Umkulumkash. So we still work together. So understand that you're gonna lose, but this is going to tell you who is truly with and for you. You are going to know and understand true relationships. You will know which relationships came for a lifetime, which came for a season, which came for a reason. So for me, that is what was made very visible. And I understood also that I was actually loved in my family because I was the firstborn grandchild, but I was the first to have financial resources. So my ego and my identity was about my money. So I didn't have money. I had to call a cousin and say, can I please have $100? I need money for candles, or I need this. But I never lacked. And when I lost my job, I immersed myself in the training. I let go and I detached. I lost my phone. Actually, my phone was stolen. I was robbed while I was at Epichreni. I was robbed while I was at Epichreni. I came back from Ipetlo, my car was stolen. So do understand that going to Twasa, rebirth is not pleasant. Because we go there and we are promised that no, everything will fall into place. No, sometimes things fall apart before they fall into place. And it's testing you beyond your physical understanding of self, because I had to surrender. I had to let go and let Lozi. I had to always be in it. I always said to myself, they know best. And I started to do affirmations while I was at Petluini. I did a lot of affirmations. One of my affirmation was that this too shall pass. So I'm not on this forever. This too shall pass. The other one was that Dlozi ngiyenze ngithanda umsebenzi wenu ngoba injabulo yenu injabulo yami. Make me love what you have gifted me. And the more I said, let me fall in love with the gift, the more I fell in love, the more what I did at Petluini would actually help other people. And I think the biggest satisfaction for me came when you were working with somebody and you see the end results and you see shifts and you see changes, right? And I started attracting clients while I was at Petro, and people say, "Chogoza koko sebenza kuphi?" I started to show. But what it also helped me, it also helped me heal, because your insecurities are going to be magnified. That's something else you need to be prepared for. Your insecurities are going to be magnified. Your issues with self are going to be made visible. Your unworthiness and value is going to be challenged, because I had body image issues. I have stretch marks and I had to wear a vest, right? And I had to undress in front of other women, and bath in front of other women. And we know what the perfect ideal body is. It's always changing. I mean, in our lifetime now, what is trending? Big thighs, big bums, big boobs, small waist. When I was in high school, skinny was sexy, but now thick is sexy. So I don't remember what was sexy when I was a Pehleni, but I was very uncomfortable in my own skin. So I got really challenged undressing. I got really but it healed me, because it made me aware where the wound of my body shaming came from. It came from my sexual abuse. It came from my uncle's verbal abuse about what I look like. So it made that visible. It did not heal it. It brought me into awareness, because afterwards I then had to go and do a healing process. So you are welcome to ask me questions. I feel like I've covered, a few things about how to get yourself ready for ipehlo or for initiation process. Are there any questions you'd like to ask me? Please remember to like the video, subscribe, put on your notifications. We have been doing this consecutively now for the past month. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m., set your appointments. Give me topic suggestions. I am not taking dreams, beloveds. I am taking questions. Let's be on topic. The topic of today is, how do I prepare myself for Ukhuthwasa? So you can ask me questions around how do I prepare myself about Ukhuthwasa. Oh, and also prepare yourself for the possibility of being in debt, because we had to take, my husband of the time also found a job but had to take a loan to build in Dumbayami. And I'm happy to say that I think the money I spent at Pehleni, I covered it in a year when I came back, not through Ndumbeni, but I went back into, the corporate space. But I also realized that I wasn't really fulfilled. Healing fulfilled me. Okay, so how long does it take uge Pehleni? I think for me, I would say 7 months, at least 7 months should be sufficient to give you the foundation of Ukhuthwasa. But different for me, in my institute, it takes at least a year. And because we do 2 initiation processes, one here and one somewhere else, so that's why it takes that long. That's why it takes that long. I'm not an advocate for 3 months training, because in that 3 months you are readjusting yourself into a new reality of being umgoma. Learning to kneel. You're gonna use your knees a lot. And the reason of the knees is that you are disengaging your ego, epithelium. So a lot of the things that have to happen is to keep you grounded and to disengage your ego but engage your spirit. I'm not very quick at reading isiZulu. Ngicela ukuthi ningangicwayi bantu abadala. I studied iSpedi esikoleni. Thokoza, how does one learn to listen to abadala, to hear the, I mean, you see, there's no 1, 2, 3 steps. Spirituality is that complex. What you learn is that when they give you something, it's trial and error. It's trial and error. Listen and apply it and see what happens. But the more you listen, and how I distinguish between Dineo's ego and Dlozi speaking to me, whatever that Amadlozi say to me doesn't feel forceful. It doesn't feel like it's being imposed. It's very subtle and it gives me peace. And I choose, still I have a choice to go this way or that way. And sometimes I've went the opposite way and I've learned the hard way. If you are led by, if you are going to be a sangoma, you have to go a Petrin. That's there are different types of African spiritual healers. But to be a sangoma, you will have to go vuswa ingoma. You have to get, even if you become something else, you need to be mentored by somebody else. Because the messages of your ancestors are omens, are symbols, and sometimes they need somebody to decode them. So there has to be some form of initiation. Otherwise, you're gonna think you are the it, So there is, whether that's pehlo or whatever that it is, but you have to go through a process of mentorship to actually synchronize the messages and to put things together for yourself. And what the gift is, you need a bit of mentorship. So when your ancestors are guiding you, what are they guiding you towards? What are they leading you towards? So just note that. No, you don't choose. They choose. I'm sure you are chosen. So the one who's chosen you and who's entrusted you with the gift is the one that's going to guide and lead you. I spoke about that earlier on, right? Especially with being a sangoma, I can't speak about being a midwife. I can't speak about being a surgeon. I can't speak about being a herbalist. Maybe with those type of African spiritual gifts, you can. But I always say with being a sangoma, it's always best to be guided by your ancestors, because you have to do certain rituals that are going to appease and bring them at a level of peace, so that you stop manifesting disease in your life. No, if you're not gifted to be a sangoma, connecting with your ancestors is opening yourself to a relationship with the spirit world, so that you are able to have an army of warriors and spirit guides that are going to help you co-create a healthy, wealthy, joyful life. So connecting with your ancestors does not mean So somebody is asking, I spoke about evoking. So that's why cleansings are important, because cleansings will then clear away. Because that's why I'm saying that you can't just go and twasa, but they tell you today you have a gift and tomorrow so you're twasa, next week you are back at home. It doesn't work that way, because you need to go clear the energy, and you need to clear the dark spirits. But we also evoke it with our people who are toxic, evoke darkness. People who carry grudges evoke darkness. People who are hateful evoke dark energies, because darkness operates, it feasts on negativity. Where there is negativity, where you are unwilling to forgive, where you are unwilling to let go, where you are always complaining, you are cultivating a fertile ground for dark spirits and for dark energies, because they don't come to a place where darkness cannot exist in the light, but light can exist in the dark. Because if the room is dark and you put on a light bulb or you put a candle, it lights up the whole room in the dark. But if the room is so bright, you can't see an ounce of darkness. So darkness cannot exist in the light, but light exists in darkness. I hope that makes sense. I wanted to say the other thing before you go, Petron, just to make sure you are going, it's always good to go and consult a person or two people, just to make sure that where you are going I also encourage my initiates before they go in to go consult, to say, just to be sure for yourself and to get your own place of comfort that this is where your ancestors want you. Mina, strictly dreams. And it's not dreams of Coco, I dreamt of you. No, it's specific to the things that I do, because then I know that Lozi is the one speaking and Lozi is the one that's seeking me to train you. Hey, so do understand that that's how I work. I don't know how other people work. I can't speak for them. But I have seen a lot of people who have went because they liked the person, or they went because they thought it's a place to go, and the processes don't work out. So we need to be able to take responsibility for our journeys, because it is your life after all. You cannot leave your life and your well-being in the hands of somebody else. So you also do right by yourself, so that you can actually get the help that you are seeking. To be umhlophe is Xhosa, is when you initiating itonga limhlophe. It's a Xhosa way of initiation. That's what it means. Any more questions? I think I skipped some questions because there was a lot going on. As I was saying, how would you advise one should manage unaccepting parents regarding your gift, especially seeing that they need to be part of the journey? I have trained people who their families disown them. Also understand that's why it's important to go to where your ancestors show you, because you get a spiritual family. Mpande means family, so you find a new family. You cannot force people to see what you are not seeing. And that's why I don't encourage young children to initiate unless if there's no any other way. So as an adult, you need to make an adult decision, because it's your life, and it's not dishonoring your parents. It's about doing what is best for the well-being of everybody else, because more twasa, you twasa for the family. And I would encourage, before you go ephehlweni, like I can't speak in general on this one, because then I'm going to start giving you how I operate, and I don't know how other people, but it's also advisable to inform your parents and get them to meet your trainer, so that they could be a family meeting, because part of what I do at the institute is to enroll Christian families who don't understand the world of the ancestors, who their own their own conditioning around it is that it's demonic. So my work is to help them unlearn a narrative that does not apply, a narrative that has not served us as Africans. And because I come from a Christian background, and I did say that I almost trained to be a pastor, so I understand Christianity very well, so I can help people. I can help people to bridge the two worlds. So yeah, because some things, if I explain them, it means I'm explaining how I do things, but not everybody does things. How true is it cleansing after you've lost a lover to death, or cleansing after? I don't know. I don't understand your question. We're not talking about cleansings. Remember, we're talking about preparation. Togoza Koko, thanks for the teachings. I have a calling, but I don't have dreams. Then see somebody to open your dreams up. It's very important. Like, what else tells you have a calling besides the dreams? Togoza Koko, do you choose your path, Sangoma versus prophecy, if you are being called? No, I'm sure the dreams are the ones that are indicative. I said this earlier on. Your dreams are indicative of the type of gift that you are supposed to initiate on. But people do choose. But remember that if you choose a path in which has not chosen you, you have to live with the consequences of your decision. So it might be unpleasant, because you might still go and spend time doing something else, but which is calling you will never stop calling you. It will never stop calling you. You might make things even worse by making a choice that is not in alignment with your path. Oh, I was trying to see some more questions, but it doesn't look okay. Coco, can one? Yes, you can put beats. There's sometimes where people are asked of certain beats. I'm not gonna speak about all the different kinds of beats, because for me, it's important to also not overshare, because I'm going to be jeopardizing the sacredness of the beats. But I can speak about the common beads. Like white beads are very common, because they're a sign of acceptance of a gift. So you might be asked. I was asked to put red and white beads, because that was a way of me saying to my ancestors, I am accepting of the gift. Because beads are also an aider and an appeasement somewhat, because when you are on the process, on the journey, and they feel like you are not walking on their path by putting beads, you might say, no, I'm here, I'm with you, I'm accepting. Or it could be what your ancestors need for you to open a portal of connection with them. Does a green cape, you see, now you're asking me about dreams. I'm gonna be very disciplined here. I said, ask me about preparation of going ephehlweni. These are the questions that I'm asking. I'm seeing a lot of questions, but let's stick to the topic. We've got 5. I think I'm gonna be here for 5 more minutes. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, put your notifications on. Also, DM me your topic suggestion. How do you help guide my parents to accept the calling? She has all the signs. Share these videos. You know, the greatest way of opening people up is to share material. Let them, you cannot force them, but you can inspire them. You can influence them, but you can't impose your way. So share these videos. That's one way, you know, but also understand where their fears are around the gift and the calling. Yeah, yes, there's different types of amakobongo. Because like I know Guti, there's amakobongo sekaya, just to help you be connected and be grounded. You know, in Xhosa culture, every you know, as part of that, and then the family would drink it and consume it just to strengthen connection. But before you do it, just be clear what type of kobongo, because you don't also want to be evoking things that you don't have, or inviting, you know, you don't want to start experiencing and like, oh, I never knew I had a calling. So it'd be best to check with a healer if you can do a kobong of connecting. While waiting for direction, what can one do to feel lighter? I've already spoken about those things, beloved. I said your ritual of ukuphahla, meditation, because remember, ukuphahla is speaking, praying is asking, phahla is calling upon, praying is sending forward, meditation is listening to the responses of spirit, because not every time you uzopupa. I spoke about my vision that I had while I was I was meditating. So there are things that you need to continue. And if you are partnering and you're not getting answers, maybe the space you are partnering in, spirit is not present in there, or that there's other energies then that is a blockages. Sacred spaces are very important, so mountains, rivers. But before you do speak at home that you are going to visit a sacred site, so that the custodian of that space does not come and scare you, or nothing happens to you, because you are going there just for connection. It's always good to announce beforehand. Even when you get there, you announce yourself and you say, I come with humility, respect, and I'm coming with good intentions. Ukhuthwasa is it's a ritual done by people who've initiated isindawo, and it's a ritual of cleansing, clearing, but also opening up messages of the ancestors. So when one agufemba, they don't become, so when you come and I femba you, I don't become Coco Dinero. I leave and I go into a trance of the ancestral spirit that fembas, and the ancestral spirits then invites other, allows for other spirits, because sometimes during Femba, even Isluanu Sizovela, like an evil spirit will show itself up and tell you what happened to you and what they've done to you and what is it you need to do to cut that tie with it. And sometimes it will be an ancestor of light that's coming, and because it could also be very helpful if Femba, actually it's good you asked me about Femba. It's a very good way, if you are not getting dreams and you are not feeling connected, but you know you have to go Thwasa, because the messages from that ancestral spirit can help you, give you signs that you need to move forward with your process. But also be, you know, the ancestral spirit can say to you, yeah, woza uzo Thwasa la. They can say something about the space they are in that makes them feel comfortable, but they will still say, we want, you know. And also when you engage, because you do engage with the ancestral spirits that come forward during Femba, say that I would also want you to come to me through dreams so that I can have faith and trust in you. So tell me what to do. So I hope I've answered your question about, no, I've asked you to give me about, does gift, yes, yes, Ukhuthwasa with prophecy, yes, people, they go the akhelong, marke go the akhelong, to go and be mentored, because there are things you need to learn. Like so there are treatments, there are processes you need to learn when you are also training to be a prophet, if you are called to train as a prophet. Yo, Coco, that question is complicated. I couldn't get it. Yes, Coco, you did. So please go, if you just joined, watch the video again. There's a lot of information. Coco, ikobongo done prior Ukhuthwasa, where you have been shown their clothing. I'm trying to go back to that comment. Where you've been shown their clothing to wear during initiation. Can you please give me clarity? I don't know. I don't understand your question. I don't understand your question. So let's see what it's quite vague. I don't understand what you're asking me. So I'm not able to. I started at 8, so I'm about to wrap up. About the white beads, what happened when the beads that you've been wearing for the past 5 years, they break? You fix them and they break. Yeah, once they've served their purpose, they would break. But you can fix them just because maybe it's because it's been worn for a long time. Because we use water, so the string gets softened and they will break, but sometimes they break because they have served their purpose. I'll do next week when I start the video. I'll do there is on all my videos there is a basic phahla process that I give. But I will need to bring some stuff to demonstrate. Ukphahla is also quite personal to our family lineages, because I can give you something as a guidance if you don't know what to do, but also know that different tribes use different things. Can I say that I will bring it next week with next week's topic? I'll begin with it because I need to show you things so I can demonstrate, so you know, and I can also tell you, if you are outside South Africa, what can you use as a substitute. So for example, what can you, if you don't have mbepho, what can you use? If you're in the UK and there's no mbepho, you can use white sage, for example. If there's no snuff, you can use tobacco, dried tobacco, because snuff is dried tobacco. How much is it usually, Ukhuthwasa? I don't know. I won't say, but it is a lot of money. I just saw right now on the group of the people about to come in, just for their basic pack of coming in, they said they spend about 4.5 to 5,000 rands. So you can imagine, this is just the basic things they need, like to make their uniform and things like that. School fees vary per trainer. So that's another thing. But there's also imsebenzi, intwaso has got its fees. There's also a lot of other things. So you don't go there. You would only, you see, if I tell you how much, then you're already preparing your budget around what I charge. But you should be asking that to your trainer. Because what if I'm cheap? Or actually, what if I don't want to say cheap. What if I'm less than what they charge? Because what they charge has to do with what they're offering. Or I'm more than what they charge. So I can't say to you, this is what you need to budget estimate wise. But just know that it's like I've already given you, before you even come at Pehlweni, they said they spend about 4.5 just to get their materials, their clothes, their beads. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take just a few more questions. Togoza Koko, I'd like to know, how can one incorporate a cloth shown in a dream in their everyday lives but have not initiated? You need to ask them. Because some cloths, they want you to put it as a head wrap, some on your shoulders because it's going to actually help them be one with you, some on your waist. So when you are shown things, or makhosi oqamakwini zihlwele zakithi, or leseriganya bonkgono le bontatemoholo, here is the thing that you've shown me. I give gratitude for it. Please let me know how to use it. That's the best way. Be Dlozi led, not Kokodino led. Because I can say put it here, but they don't want it here, they want it here. Or they want it underneath your clothing garment. So, so it's very important, because it is there, Mangisho, that are showing you the cloth. But maybe some clothes are not supposed to be worn yet. They are for when you are tossering. Maybe the clothes you are shown are an indication of the type of ancestral gift you have, and you think you should be wearing it. How do you know if it's time ukphahla? Koko, how do you know it is time to connect with your beloved ones? For me, ukphahla, because I have a relationship with my ancestors, it's the times when I'm seeking. Okay, let me park ukphahla. I'll speak about ukphahla next week as a beginning, but I still want a topic in addition, because I've spoken about ukphahla. You know, 3 a.m. is very important because it's sacred time, but you don't always have to patla. So if you're really trying to get dreams, why don't you patla before you go to bed? Thokozani bogogo nabomkhulu, ngicela ningivakashele emaphupheni nasemibonweni yami. Ngikupha lihleng limpontse nka ditoro le dipono. Can you please come and show yourself in the dreams, so I can know what to do and what you want me to do? So you can call upon them, because you are calling, you inviting them, Mangish. It's an invitation. So also the time is about what, if you're inviting them for the dreams, it would be nice. And when you wake up from a dream, thank them for it and ask them to come and decipher. Ooh, now I was saying Nhlambuluko. Somebody asked me about what's the difference from Ukhuthwasa and Ukhlambulula. Ukhuthwasa is because you've got a gift and you need to initiate to be born as a healer. But ukhlambulula, you have to, it's a cleansing. It's a type of a cleansing. So it could be good to uhlelwe idlozi fanele uhlambulule, because it could be somebody who's died or a name you were given that you didn't ask for. So that person comes as a form of an overbearing, or somebody who's bringing burdens to you because they are not one with you. So bathi uhlambulule lelo dlozi. So actually, it's a way of acknowledging, but it's a way of releasing, it's a way of clearing, it's a way of paving as well. And Nondumisa, what would you like next time, my dear? Please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me, Koko Dineo, on Instagram. Hey, I hope you can tune in tomorrow. I was looking at the teaser. I'm still on Rhythm City as Mkulu Mkanya, because I feel that role is very important. It really is shedding light about what it means being umlapi wendabugo, being a healer of light. So if you can, if you are in South Africa, you can watch it. Rhythm City DSTV 914. I'm very excited for what is going to unfold with the storyline. I don't know what they have in store. I don't know what the writers have in store, but I'm very excited. So keep tuned in. I'm not there every day because I'm a feature. I'm not a marking. I'm not a lead. Leads are always there. I'm a feature, but who knows? Maybe I'll move from feature to support, from support to lead. Hey, Josie, timing is perfect timing. Everything happens when the ancestors say yes to it, you know. Yes, and tomorrow I'm going to post. I will be with Ancestral Voices, not on my YouTube, on their YouTube channel. Go to my Instagram page. I am going to post it tomorrow. It's going to be 8 p.m. Is it? Yes, 8 p.m. my time. We're going to be talking everything about my journey as a sangoma, African spirituality and women, Ancestral Voices, the UK. It's very well known for bringing messages and teachings of African spirituality to the global, to the global community of Africans. So remember to tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m., not on my YouTube, on their YouTube channel. It's called Ancestral Voices UK. So make sure that you're going to be tuned in. They will also be live on their page. So they will be interviewing me. They will be hosting me. So I'm looking forward to sharing my story. What does it mean if you are ready, Twasat? This is a Twasat, but Los is not speaking. I don't know what you mean, Los is not speaking. What is it? Is there a specific reason to why your ancestors are always quiet in your dreams? Yeah, sometimes they're quiet. Give Cocodineo pearls. Thank you, beloveds. Actually, if I drink, I prefer a Jameson. Yeah, or an amaretto. I'm just saying. Not a drinker, though. One glass of whiskey does me good. So if you want to bless me with a drink, get me a whiskey. I'm a whiskey woman or a liqueur woman. Yeah, and if I'm like trying to be, then I do amarula woman. But I like alcohol is really not for me. I'm not good. My alcohol tolerance levels are like this. After 2 glasses, I feel like I've had enough. Okay. You are queen. Thokoza koko siyabonga. Yes, I can't wait. How do you prepare for Twasa, for a site they know nothing of? But this whole video, Coco, has been about preparing for Twasa. I said, don't go Twasa without knowing what type of Ubungoma gift do you have. Because, you know, your dreams should be indicative of the type of Ubungoma gift that you have. You can't just go, you know. We'll bring you Jameson. Oh, yes. Hey, I love gifts. Somebody gave me, I forgot. Maybe she's here. I haven't posted and thanked her for a box of crystals and essential oil, so I actually need to soak in on Friday on my essential oil, and she gave me crystals. It's just that I've been busy with Imikiti back to back, so I haven't thanked the beloved lady that especially delivered the gift to the at the institute of that. So thank you. I appreciate the beautiful gifts you give me. What is the importance of Ufemba before lefehlo, or does it form part of the journey? Yes, I did. Mara, Tsegofatso, it means, beloveds, you're not listening. I spoke about the importance of Ugufemba. So you can still do it before lefehlo, or you can do it while you know, because depending if uzotwasumdao, then you might learn it. Is there a specific reason as to why your ancestors are always quiet in your dreams? Yes, I did say. Sometimes they're quiet because we are not connected to them, or we have not done what they've asked of us. They are not pleased with us, or something has been done to them. So we need to unmute them. And how you know what to do to unmute them? Consult a sangoma. Okay, if you want to come to me for consultation, this is how you book. You WhatsApp 074 210 2089 074 210 2089. If you are outside the country, plus 2774 210 2089. You have to have a plus 27. That's the South African code. Please also note I am booked a month to 2 in advance, but there are other healers at the institute. Thank you. I love my hair too, my afro. I'm growing my afro again. And there are other healers who are more available than I am. So if it's an agent emergency thing, don't book with me because you're gonna wait. But the wait is worth the wait. You know, it's worth it. So some people are worth the wait. So yeah, so that's how you can go get hold of the practice. And yeah, if you pay to come see me, it's non-refundable, because the minute money come in, because by the time you come, you've already paid, so your ancestors have already passed on the messages. So there's no refunds that happens. So don't book because you are in a hurry or it's an emergency. I do emergencies sometimes depending on the case. I evaluate the case, then I take an emergency. Yeah, so because sometimes people do have emergencies. I think we should call it a night, or were there other questions? I'm not doing dreams, beloveds. We will do it once a month where I answer people's dreams, but today I'm talking about preparation. Okay, I'm not doing dreams. We are just talking. Another topic is the power of hair. Yeah. Hey, the crown. Is there specific reasons behind bepping? Ukbodla, because it happens to me a lot. Please look through last week's stream where I spoke about you know, signs of Ukhuthwasa. I speak about bepping and why we bep. So go look at that. That's what I said. You know, I love now that I've got these videos. I can say, go look at this video, because then I'm going to be repeating myself. So if you are new and you just joined us today, please, there is a lot of videos. They are titled, but I am going to be creating a playlist very soon so that you can be able to go through the playlist of the things. But that's it for tonight. Remember, like, subscribe, put notifications on, follow me on all social media platforms. If you didn't get the number, you can go to gokodinaondlanzi.com. There is the number of the practice. It's 074 210 2089. Be very careful. There are scammers out there using my name, saying it's me. I will never consult you via WhatsApp. I am based in Cosmos City. That's where the institute is, extension 0. So I am not in, you know, I live here in Midrand, but I don't work from here. I'm not in Sentin. I'm not in Pretoria. I work in Dumbeni. And if you don't know what my Ndumba looks like, there are pictures on my socials where I've taken pictures in my Ndumba so you can have a sense. So thank you very much. Remember to suggest topics for next week, but we are going to begin about Ukuphahla, basic on Ukuphahla. Night.